Good morning, everyone, and
Oh, great. We're 2 seconds in and a codec call already.
Snake, be careful. There are claymore mines around there. Use a mine detector. Who are you? Just call me Deep Throat.
Okay, this guy's named Deep Throat. I'm not sure how we can handle this game if these are the kinds of names they are giving to people.
This would actually be in line with the Watergate scandal with former President Richard Nixon, as the codec mentioned, instead of any less appropriate usage of the term.
Oh, did someone say this guy's name is Deep Throat? That reminds me of a story where I was with my friends and we...
Joe, for the love of everything good in this world, please do not tell that story. We are going to get age restricted so quickly, and I don't want that.
Okay, now that we have a second where there's no codec calls and cutscenes, good morning, everyone. We are back with Metal Gear Solid. And if you're watching this on the day of release, happy President's Day, we are here to celebrate successful presidents such as myself that do so much good for our country.
And just in time for yet another scene to interrupt us.
This is Raven's territory. Snakes don't belong in Alaska. I will not let you pass.
Okay, guys, he won't let us pass. I guess the game is over now.
Not yet, Joe. It's not over yet.
That's right. You belong on the ground. You should crawl on the ground like the snake you are.
Is that supposed to be advice on how we fight him? I'm not sure if that would be helpful.
I don't think that's what it was, Joe. Do you have any ideas on how you'll go about this?
Actually, yeah, the mines seem to only be towards the bottom, so I don't think I'll need the mine detector up above. I think the chaff grenade could stop him from using the tank to shoot me, and if I throw a regular grenade into the part where there's someone shooting, I can kill them that way. Otherwise, no, I don't know what to do.
That actually sounds like a pretty good idea. That just might work out, actually.
How is it that Joe regularly forgets how to walk upstairs in the real world and yet shows actual cognitive thought when it comes to Metal Gear Solid? That seems pretty weird.
Oh, you know me. I just like to keep people on their toes and not knowing what to expect next.
That is a rather weird way of putting it, but okay.
It looks like you only have to throw a few more grenades and you'll be done with the fight. You're doing fine so far.
I should have this one in, so I don't think it will be too difficult at this point.
As long as you don't just completely fall apart at this point, then we'll be moving on without any issue. I'm glad you're doing well.
I was about to say the same thing, but he just got ran over by a tank. I'd think that would kill any normal person, but I guess not now.
I don't know how that happened to me, but I got him, so that's what matters most. What's he doing to that guy over there? Is there something special about him besides the fact we just blew him up?
I wouldn't think so unless there's some item that he has with him, but that would be pretty weird since it's not like Snake has checked anyone else if that were the case.
Well, what do you know? He did have some kind of card with him that's pretty convenient.
Well, boss, I hope you are happy. He got the card.
We'll play with him a little longer.
You would be wise not to underestimate him.
What did you think of him?
He is just as you said. In battle, he is as if possessed by a demon.
Oh no, is this going to be some sort of exorcism game? I don't think I can handle that. Or does that mean we're going to be possessed and become Demon Snake or something?
Probably not. I don't think he meant it literally. It's like the thing earlier about him crawling on the ground, where that wasn't an actual strategy. It was just reading into it too much.
Oh, okay, that's good.
It is known as an animal to be feared.
Well, Snake is mine now. When I meet him next, I'll take special care of him. Not yet. Don't kill him yet.
He and I will meet again in battle.
Same prediction as always?
Yes, the raven on my head. It thirsts for his blood.
Hey, that prediction thing he has is almost like my golf instincts, though his are probably a lot less accurate than mine.
Hold up, Donald. I'm pretty sure your instincts got less accurate the more games we play. So if anything, Vulcan Ravens might be much better than yours at this point.
Guys, there's no need to talk about Donald's inaccurate prediction skills as we're not playing golf now. We can save that for when we're in the golf course next time.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just more happy to see the progress Joe has been making in this game. I know it keeps getting interrupted by calls and scenes, but it's not been a disaster so far.
Thanks, Donald. And speaking of that, it's another call.
Be careful. You absolutely must not use weapons in that area.
I've already programmed the nanomachine so that he won't be able to, Colonel.
What? What are you talking about?
Have you forgotten? That's where they keep the nuclear warheads. Can't you see them?
Yeah, there's lots of boxes piled up here, but are they all warheads? Yes, they're all dismantled warheads.
I think we need to acknowledge the fact that Snake's nanomachines can be edited remotely to stop him from doing actions. That seems like an insane restriction of free will, and even though it is a safety precaution, in this case, leads to a huge, figurative can of worms on what people can and cannot do based on this.
I'm surprised the Democrats haven't already put this into law by now. And yes, Ben, I definitely agree on your assessment to this idea being terrible, regardless of execution.
Okay, guys, we don't have to contemplate on what I may or may not be writing laws about to restrict people. I swear I just needed to program a few people to stop ordering popsicles so much since they delay my orders. That was it. I'm not using it for anything else.
I'm pretty sure you don't write laws yourself like that, but even if you could, you are not helping yourself at all.
Yeah, I don't think this conversation is going to end well at all. So I think it's best we just focus on the game now.
Okay, thank you. I think I'm supposed to go in this elevator. If I remember correctly, though, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do after that. I guess I'll find out soon enough.
I think someone said that Hal Emerick was in the basement of this building, but that was a while ago. And I can't remember which floor it was, though. I imagine there's not all that many to choose from.
I'm pretty sure Merrill said it was the second basement floor, but I don't remember exactly, even if that is. So it would be good to see if there's anything special in this room that could help us later.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I am guessing there are more fights coming up since we had quite a few in the past couple videos, including the one at the beginning of this one.
It's good that you're actually thinking ahead for once, although in this case, these doors all look locked, so it's not really working out as you intended.
I should be able to get into at least one of them, and it should be worth it.
Looks like you got a Nikita launcher. I can imagine that will be useful, though I'm not sure how you would use it against regular enemies, since the weapons you already have should be enough. Maybe there's a different use for it.
Once we go into the elevator to the next room, we'll find out.
Okay, no messing around. It's time to see what's up next.
Looks like a room that is really weirdly colored. I wonder what that could be.
Maybe it's just a graphical glitch.
No, actually, based on this O2 bars, I think it's a poison gas.
Okay, that is a really weird scene. What are we supposed to do now?
We'll likely get a call, and what do you know it happened right on time?
Snake, watch out. That place is filled with gas. Also, the floor is electrified. First, destroy the high voltage switch. It's the switchboard on the northwest wall.
But how? I can't reach it.
Use a remote-controlled missile.
I guess that answers it, Joe. You have to use that Nikita missile you just got in order to hit that electric part on the wall to go forward.
All right, first I'm using a chaff grenade since I see a lot of cameras there, and I think that would cause a problem.
Wait, what? Why did the missile explode? Did you just do that?
No, I don't even think I can blow it up manually if I wanted to.
My guess is it was the chaff grenade that maybe messed up the connection between the launcher and missile. Or at least I assume the launcher controls the missile once it's fired, but I don't know exactly.
Well, I'm using it without any problems this time, so even if the reason wasn't correct, it looks like it was because of the chaff grenade. That is pretty weird.
And on a related note, while you were using the missile, I noticed along the sides there were some doors you should be able to go into. Do you plan on doing that now?
I think I'll go into some of them, but since the gas will probably still be there, I don't want to spend too much time looking for things unless I get a gas mask.
That is a good idea, and I think you were right to take a breather to get that O2 level back up. From what I noticed, I think going to the bottom right is the way to go, as the radar didn't really show much else on the left.
I'll go there soon, but I'm taking a moment to look through these rooms in case there is something worthwhile.
Sounds good. I think we'll be all right by you just going to a couple rooms and maybe going back up near the elevator and repeat until you're done looking around.
Well, after I use this grenade, I'm just going to the bottom right since I won't need to go back up for now, and it looks like I did get a gas mask too. That's convenient when I don't need the key card to open doors already.
Great job, Joe. You're still keeping it together, even with this time limit imposed on you.
And now we get to see what's coming up next in this place.
I don't know what those sounds were, but I can't imagine any of them were good. Sounded more like swinging something than shooting from what I could tell.
Guys, I'm a little worried. I'm not sure what to expect.
It looks like they were cut by some type of blade.
I can only imagine what terrible thing did this to these guys. Do we have to fight it too?
It's a ghost.
I don't want to go forward and end up like that guy if there's another way around.
No, Joe, I know this place looks really scary, but we just have to keep going and see what is causing this thing and stop it.
I can't imagine this going well at all.
All right, well, thanks for watching, everyone. That's the end of the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
No, Donald, we can't stop now. We have to face this thing head on and not give up now.
I agree with Donald. We should stop now.
Hey, he just wet himself like Joe probably does on a daily basis.
Nah, only on a weekly basis.
Where is my friend?
What? What are you talking about? Oh, what next?
Snake.
Hey, that's the guy who cut off Revolver Ocelot's hand. And this might be stretching it, but I think he sounds like that deep throat guy who called a few times.
I'm not sure about that last one, but I can see how you would think that based on his voice.
Are all of you sure it's not too late to shut the game off and do something else? I didn't have anything else planned. I just don't want to fight this guy when he cut up those people outside the room here.
No, we're staying here now.
I've waited a long time for this day. Now I want to enjoy the moment.
What's with these guys? It's like one of my Japanese animes.
Oh, is this guy one of those weebs who like to Naruto run everywhere? I think we should just let him die at this point.
Normally I wouldn't agree with something so insulting, but if it means getting out of here, I'll take it.
Come on, you two, we can't just give up now. We have to face this ninja. Otherwise, we'll never save the world and protect Metal Gear.
Easy for you to say. I'm the one actually playing the game. I have no idea how to fight something like this.
I think his monologue about fighting should be done soon. So it would be best for us to be 100% focused on fighting him and not running away at all.
Okay, fine. I don't like this, but I don't think I have much of a choice at this point.
I have to reluctantly agree.
Now, make me feel it. Make me feel alive again.
Fantastic start, Joe. Way to fight him efficiently.
Shut up, Barack. You told me to fight him. Don't insult me for not reacting to his kickflip move. Not like you would be doing any better.
Yeah, I'm on Joe's side. He's the one actually putting forward the effort. You're just insulting him while also telling him to keep going with something he doesn't want to do for good reason.
I don't know. I think Barack is right on this one, although I agree that kickflip from him was not easy to dodge. If Joe were more focused, then he would have a better chance at avoiding it.
All right, maybe I was a little too harsh, but you still need to be doing way more damage than you are to him, as there's way more health for him than there is for you.
Once he stops jumping around like a lunatic, maybe I could do some damage.
It looks like you're doing better now. If you just keep hitting him when he does his jump straight down, then you'll have time to attack.
I'll try, but if he jumps around so much, it will be hard for me to get an opportunity.
Hey, I just thought of something. If he is a cyborg, couldn't you use a chaff grenade against him to mess up the mechanical parts of him?
Probably, but I do want to try and honor his thing about not trusting my life to a weapon, which is kind of weird when you think about it, as I've been doing that a lot in the playthrough. And he uses his sword, but I'll be all right.
I think you should use one since it's not like it could harm anything if you did.
Now I'm going to do my own thing. You wanted me to fight him so badly, I'm not letting you choose how I fight against him if I mess up. Then I'll just keep trying until I do get it.
Nicely done sticking to what you believe in. Plus, you're taking more of his health than the other way around, so you're not in any real danger of losing unless he starts using really different attacks.
Well, Joe is about halfway through the fight, and so far nothing too different has happened, so at least for now I think we'll be okay.
I feel like by now we would have gotten 7 or 8 codec calls about how to fight him, but I guess not.
At some point, I'm sure there will be a scene of him doing something different, and I'll have to adapt.
Even if there is, I think you're at the point to where you can probably keep up with him since you're doing well enough.
You know what? You're right. Even if he does come up with something else, I can handle it.
I'm glad you're keeping your spirits up.
That's good, Snake. Hurry up and catch me.
Okay, guys, I've got no idea how I'm going to beat him. I think that's it for me.
Wait, what do you mean you were so confident just a minute ago and not you're not?
I didn't realize he was going to turn invisible during the fight. He's the real tactical espionage action expert here. Since I can't turn invisible, that would make this game too easy.
I think you can still beat him. Even when he is invisible, there is still the outline where he is that distorts the area around him. And when he is attacking, it's much easier to see him. You just have to actively search for him instead of relying on him to come to you.
I know this might seem like a lot, especially as you have used a ration now, but you're still able to beat him. I don't think it will be too difficult for you.
Maybe you're all right. Perhaps I can defeat him even if I'm not confident in myself.
His health is going down. You're getting close.
Like old times. I've been waiting for this pain.
Wait, old times, what is he talking about? We haven't fought him before. I know we saw him after fighting Revolver Ocelot, but that wasn't a fight against him. And even if Ben is right in saying he was Deep Throat, that wouldn't make sense either. Ben, you might have briefly mentioned some MSX games a while ago. Is it possible he was in one or both of those games?
I think I did mention that a part or two ago, but I don't remember if it said anything about a cyborg ninja. But yes, he must be referring to some past event with Snake that wasn't in this specific game. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
You're probably right. Hopefully the game will explain that a bit more clearly later, but that's if this fight can finish soon. It has been going on for a while now.
Ooh, I know I can tell one of my stories to pass the time.
At this point, I'd rather take on the ninja myself instead of hearing another story.
So there I was in the depths of outer heaven going to stop a bipedal weapon from destroying the world. I was tasked by my commander, Vernon Katafi, to save the world. There I started Operation Intrude N-313, but then I met up with one of my captured friends, Justin Halley, and he told me I needed to save the world or something, which was redundant since that was what I was already doing. I soon reached the weapon room, but turns out it was just a big computer, so I blew it up and left. Then I was sent out to Zanzibarland in order to do basically the same thing again, except I met my friend Justin Halley again, except he was transformed into this other guy named Gray Fox. I fought him, which was really sad since he was my friend. I met my commander who was actually the bad guy, so I torched him and left the end.
That was yet another terrible story of yours, Joe, which is to be expected. And of course, that was from, I'm actually not sure where that came from. Do any of you know?
It came from me, I just said it.
No, he means you always get your stories from some other book or movie. But I'm not sure where that one was from either.
I've got no idea myself.
I felt that, Snake. Do you remember me now?
Can't be. You were killed in Zanzibar. What? Not again. What's happening?
This will be Donald when he loses the next election for sure.
Fake news, I'm gonna win like always.
Losing myself.
Is it over?
Well, that was really weird. I'm sure the people at the codec want to call about it as always. So let's hear them.
Gray Fox. Colonel, that ninja is Gray Fox. No doubt about it.
Ridiculous. You of all people should know he died in Zanzibar.
No. He should have died, but he didn't.
What?
Wait a minute, they just mentioned Gray Fox in Zanzibar, just like Joe did in his story. That must have means he played the MSX games, if that's what they were from. But I could have sworn he never played any of the games in the series.
No, I've never played another Metal Gear game besides this one. Don't you think I would have remembered if I would?
Actually, no, I don't think you would have remembered, since we all know your memory skills are quite non-existent by now.
Apparently, for their test subject, they decided to use the body of a soldier who was recovered after the fall of Zanzibar.
And that was Gray Fox.
But he was already dead.
Yes, but they revived him. They fitted him with a prototype exoskeleton and kept him drugged for 4 years while they experimented on him like a plaything.
Whoa, that's a lot worse than the story I remember. Then again, I wouldn't have been there in those 4 years, so that makes sense. That must have been hard to go through.
The only worst thing I can think of is having 4 years of Joe as president, but we're already there. So it's probably even worse than Gray Fox being tested.
Oh, come on, I'm not that bad.
Well, he's not wrong exactly.
Naomi, what happened to Gray Fox after that?
The record says he died in the explosion.
I see. But even if that ninja is Gray Fox, the question is, why?
From what I could tell, he didn't know who he was.
Are you saying that he's just a mindless robot?
I'm not sure if the Colonel is right on that one. He seemed to know who Snake was, and their past was connected in some way. Though maybe he's referring to him saying that he's losing himself.
Either way, if he's so focused on fighting Snake, we will have to keep an eye on him until he's done trying to get revenge, or whatever it is.
How long are you gonna stay in there?
Are you one of them?
No, I'm not. I always work alone.
Alone? Are you an otaku too?
Come on, get out. We can't stay here forever.
I think this guy is Hal Emerick. I don't think it was said, but I don't see anyone else that could be him.
If it's not, then I don't know where else he would be at, so I hope so.
You're the Metal Gear Chief Engineer, Hal Emerick, right?
You know me?
I heard about you from Meryl.
Oh, so you're here to rescue me?
Sorry, but no. There's something that I've got to do first.
Oh, well, at least you're not one of them.
Even though we're not one of them, it would be pretty neat to get a sword and also turn invisible. It would make this game way easier.
Maybe we can get those as an unlockable once we finish the game.
It's nothing to worry about. I want to ask you something. I need information about Metal Gear.
Huh? Metal Gear?
Yeah. What's Metal Gear really designed for?
It's a mobile TMD. It's designed to shoot down nuclear missiles. Only for defensive purposes, of course.
Liar. I already know that Metal Gear is nothing but a nuclear-equipped walking deathmobile.
Wow, Snake and Hal are not getting off on the right foot. He witnessed him pee himself before going into the locker, and now is mad at him for the Metal Gear details.
This is a really weird character interaction, especially since this cyborg ninja, sneaking expert, and nuclear weapons scientist all should have nothing to do with each other, but are all involved in this somehow. I wonder how these stories are thought up.
Probably not with any coherency to start out. I imagine when Hideo Kojima was pitching this game to Konami, they reacted how we do to Joe's stories, except this one seemed to work out a lot better.
Oh, come on, my stories are pretty good. You just don't enjoy the complexity of my fun tales.
I don't know how to say this in a good way, Joe, but your stories are really bad, and you should feel bad for ever thinking of telling them.
Nah, I'm going to keep telling them all day long if I have to until you all enjoy them.
Guys, we all know Joe's stories are terrible. Let's actually start paying attention to the game soon.
A railgun, you said?
Yeah. It uses magnets to fire bullets at extremely high velocities. The technology was originally developed for the SDI system and later scrapped. We were successful in miniaturizing it in a joint venture between Arms Tech and Rivermore National Labs. The railgun is on Rex's right arm.
Metal Gear's main function is to launch nuclear missiles. You sure you're not forgetting something?
It's true that Metal Gear has a missile module on his back that can carry up to 8 missiles, but are you saying it was originally meant to carry nuclear missiles?
Yeah, that Metal Gear description was really enticing. I'm on the edge of my seat now.
Okay, that was a bad example, but surely something better will be coming up that we can learn from. I am hoping it will add some levity after fighting the ninja, so we have some downtime.
Metal Gear's co-developer, Rivermore National Labs, was working on a new type of nuclear weapon. They were using Nova and NIF laser nuclear fusion testing equipment and supercomputers.
So they developed a new type of nuclear weapon in a VR testing lab, huh?
Yes, but you can't use virtual data on a battlefield. They would need actual launch data.
I know usually it's Donald that brings this up, but I think it's been about 7 minutes since the last bit of gameplay. I'm willing to bet the entire rest of the episode is just watching more scenes with no gameplay.
On one hand, I do think it is a bit much to have the game spaced out like that, but on the other hand, like I mentioned before, after fighting the ninja, going through that hallway and the gas area, I think it's nice to just not think about having a lot of action taking place.
Maybe we'll learn something interesting about Hal that isn't his enjoyment of anime.
Looks like that's where this is going.
The truth is, my grandfather was part of the Manhattan Project. He suffered with the guilt for the rest of his life. And my father, he was born on August 6th, 1945.
The day of the Hiroshima bomb. God's got a sense of humor, all right.
Wow, I was thinking it would be a lot less grim than that, but I suppose that is definitely different.
I wonder if we're ever going to learn anything more about Hal's family. Like if they like swimming in pools, or if they use a wheelchair, or even if they work for people who do inspections.
I highly doubt we're going to learn those very specific things, especially since they're not in the game. Or at least I wouldn't think they would be.
Okay, you're right. I guess we'll just have to learn more about Hal then, since he's one of the only good guys we've met up to this point that hasn't died right after.
Let's hope it doesn't happen to him.
Rex is in the underground maintenance base.
Where's that?
North of the communications tower, but it's a long way there.
The emergency override system for the detonation code is there too?
Yeah, in the maintenance base control room. You'd better hurry. If they were planning a launch from the start, then their ballistic program is probably finished. And since they haven't called for me in a few hours, they must not need me. In other words, they must be ready to launch.
Meryl's got the detonation code override keys. We'll link up with her.
If we can't override the launch, we'll have to destroy Rex.
We have to destroy that thing? I'm sure we knew that would need to happen, but if this thing has a railgun laser and is that large, then I'm not sure how we can get rid of it. We'll have to think of a way to do that along the way.
Yeah, I never thought about what we would actually have to do once we got to the Metal Gear. I was just winging it and hoping it would all work out.
I get the impression that's what you've been doing since the inauguration. That would explain a lot.
Yeah, Joe, he's got you there. Most of the decisions you have made in your life have just been winging it, and it happened to work out for you.
Okay.
So what then?
I want you to hide somewhere and keep me informed. You know this place well, don't you?
Of course I do. And don't worry, I've got this. It's the same stealth technology as the Ninja. Foxhound was going to use them, but with this I'll be fine. Bad leg and all.
Okay, there's a few things that have to be brought up. Firstly, why does he just have this and we don't? Surely it would be more useful to the person actually going through this place to use it most. Second is, I'm not sure if this is the same thing the Ninja had, but I highly doubt it, since Hal would not have been involved in making the suit that was used for Gray Fox. Third, how does this technology even exist? I get this is a fictional game, but it would be good to get an explanation on what exactly this thing does and how it works, especially since it would be helpful if we had it.
I think you're putting too much thought into this. But those questions are valid. It would speed this game up considerably if Joe could use it himself, although there would be no real suspense since we know he could just run by most obstacles in the game with no issue.
We should just accept that Joe won't have this as good as it would be and move on from here.
There's only one place where we can be sure she's by herself.
Where's that?
Don't be so dense. Here, Use this security card. It's security level 4.
Guys, I just thought of a theory. Maybe she's in the women's restroom. We haven't seen any women in this game, I don't think, and especially not the guards. If we need to find Meryl, then we're going to have to go to the restroom.
I think you just want to have an excuse to be a peeping Tom and say you're on an espionage mission when it inevitably falls apart.
Normally, I would agree with you, but this time you might actually be right. Maybe if we hide near a restroom, we can see who goes in.
This is already a terrible idea.
Japan was the first country to successfully make bipedal robots. They're still the best in the field of robotics.
And Japanese cartoons played some part in that?
They did. I didn't get into science to make nuclear weapons, you know.
That's what all scientists say.
I became a scientist because I wanted to make robots like the ones in the Japanese animes. Really, it's true.
Just sounds like a childish excuse to me.
Is this guy really this obsessed with Japan robots? I think Donald was right earlier. We should have just let the ninja finish him off and even taken the invisible suit. It would have made everything easier.
I knew you would come around sooner or later, but I guess it's too late for that now.
Hey guys, I think we're about done for the day. There's not much left to this scene.
I doubt there's much more vital information here, so I think we'll be done now. This had a lot of information and scenes without much gameplay, but I think we're just getting used to it. Donald hasn't even complained this time.
We're just adapting to the longer length of the game at this point, so I'm not as bothered by it.
That sounds about right. As always, thank you to everyone watching. We'll be back with this game and others quite soon.
Golf with your friends will still happen on occasion, but mainly it will be this and Final Fantasy IV.
We say this all the time, but make sure to comment and subscribe if you want to see more.
And peace out, people.